Welcome to the Funding Fathers, where mortgages meet manhood and curiosity meets conversation. Your hosts, Jesse Cronin, Chad Paris, and Tyler Jenkins sit down with guests from every walk of life. Industry insiders, entrepreneurs, and everyday people with extraordinary stories. The topics, anything that fuels life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Pull up a chair, pour yourself a drink. The conversation starts now. All right, guys, welcome back to the closing table with Coach Mike Glaser. We're here.
Well, listen, we had a good good finish to the first half there, talking about brotherhood and what St.X embodies. We got stuck the 3 years of Trinity, and we get into 91, and you talked about the Trinity game, Lee Wagner, but you went to the state championship.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what happened?
Well, so we go to the state championship. We've struggled in every playoff game, but we came out on top. So we're playing Clark County in a state championship, and they got a great team. They beat Trinity the week before. We thought we'd be playing Trinity again. And so Clark County goes to Trinity and beats Trinity. So we're playing Clark County state championship. It's a heck of a game. We're up. We think we got it. We're in pretty good shape. We stop them, and we get a personal foul, roughing the quarterback, gives them a first down. They go down and score. They go ahead, okay? So now we got to drive the length of the field to try to win the game. What we do, we throw the ball, we get it to Miguel Montano, and we think we're in good shape. We get down to the 4-inch line, or no, that's wrong. We get down to about the 1 or 2 yard line, and it's fourth down, and we call formation of the wide side. We call our outside veer, and usually it's wide open, or there is totally nothing. And twice in this game, we have switched to the sweep to the weak side. Carl Daly, who isn't fast, isn't a great athlete, he'll die if he hears this, but he walks in the end zone. I even got a picture in my basement, him holding the ball up, walking in the end zone on his first score. We think the same thing's going to happen. Well, we line up. Lee Wagner changes the play, but we got our all-state linebacker, and he only plays on a goal line, and he is frothing at the teeth. He's going to go the other way. He's going to get the ball. Well, we change it. He doesn't get to change, so he's going this way. Carl's going this way. They run into each other. Lee Wagner has the sense to not toss the ball, and because it was a toss sweep, and he holds on to it, and he goes around the right end, and he's going for the pylon, corner of the end zone. We think he's going to get in, but they had 3 guys. 2 of them went to Eastern Kentucky and started, but the one that was a quarterback was the middle linebacker. And he runs Lee down and knocks him out on the 4 yard line.
No, 4-inch line.
4-inch line. 4-inch line. Game over, because they had to get one push out because it was like 20, 30 seconds going to game. So we don't score. Devastated. Now, I forgot to tell you yesterday, that's my freaking birthday.
Oh.
That was
it was on your birthday?
It was on my birthday, December 4th. So the kicker, and he get better because the parents had planned a party. So I had to go, god dang, eat a piece of cake. I mean, half the team didn't show, or the parents. We used to have these parties, everything. It was terrible. It was
in the cafeteria.
They had it up at St. Stephen Martyr.
Oh, okay.
It was the worst day of my life. I swear, other than when my dad died. I mean, unbelievable. So anyway, we lose the game on the 4-inch line. So we come back the next year, 92, have a great team. We're rolling. We go to the state championship. Well, back in those days, we would practice on the turf.
Yeah.
Before you went to the playoffs. And we'd already been on the turf 3 or 4 times. And the coaches were saying, Coach, we're not going out there tomorrow, are we? I said, we are. And I didn't tell them why. And they said, oh, and so they were bad. They're saying, God, the old man, he wants to go back out there. Why are we doing this? So anyway, we go out there and we get off the bus. I said, Ben, come with me. And I had a football in my hand, took that football to the 4-inch line. Put that thing down there. It's hard to even talk about to this day. I said, man, we are not going to come up 4 inches short. we're winning this game. I don't know how, but we're going to win this game. So then we played the next day against Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a game, and we're battling, and we ended up winning the thing on a field goal. But I'm telling you, and you talk about uptight, because it's hard to coach at a state championship game, but go to a game and lose in the championship game, come back the next year, you want that so bad. It might have been one of the worst games I ever coached because I was so uptight. The kids were uptight, but daggone. In the end, we said we're going to put it in a little quarterback's hands, little Lee Wagner. We were in his little tail off with quarterback keeps in that because it was terrible weather. And we got down there, kicked the field goal. I think Will Fishback.
Will Fishback
kicked the field goal and won the state championship.
Who'd y'all beat in the semis that year? Was that Marshall County?
No, I think that year was Christian County. That was a great game. There's things you remember. People say, "Oh, Coach, what ring is this and that?" And I used to tell them, I said, "I wear the ring for one reason, for the memories."
Oh yeah,
because you look at that. So in '92, in the semifinals, end of the game, it starts snowing. It's one of those wet snows where the snowflakes are about 3 inches, big and that.
Yeah.
I'm up in the press box doing it's back when we, just started radio.
Post game, yeah.
And so we're doing the post game up in the press box. Like the dad got to run up all those steps and that in there. And I look down on the field, Steve Fernandez and the crew, he was one that got it started. They are running, and there's about 2 inches of wet snow on the ground. They are running and sliding, and it was the greatest slip and slide you ever seen. They're sliding from about the 40-yard line to the end zone. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
It was an unbelievable, neat memory to finish the game that way, to go to state championship.
Yeah, those types of core memories. I'm going to hit on one in a few minutes that's similar but different. But was that on the road?
No, it was that.
That was at Manual Stadium?
At Papa John.
Oh, was that Old Cardinal?
Old Cardinal.
Okay. I just feel like
because it was a turf.
I feel like every in my memory, road game 95 semis, road game 97 semis.
After that,
road
yes,
game.
we went on the road. Every state championship game we had, or semi, was on the road from there.
I like to say there's a lot of hate out in the state.
Yeah,
they would send us on the road. So obviously. You win it, Lee Wagner, Fishback, 3-0, 93.
Right.
Come back. You got a lot of those guys?
93, we come back. No, we're starting over fairly new. In 93, Bryan Lindsey.
Oh, yeah.
Ended up being our quarterback. We had a really good year. But the thing was, in the 90s, we were dominant, but also we had Male High School in our district that was daggone dominant and had great athletes. So in 93, they won a state championship. So in the 90s, we either won a state championship or lost to the state champion.
Like in the finals or the quarters or the semis?
In either the finals or the semifinals or
Yeah.
whatever, or regional finals.
The whole decade.
Just about the whole decade.
Wow.
Because in 93, we lost to Mel.
Chris Redman?
Yes, that was his junior year. So in 94, we come back and we play Mel. They're ranked 5th in the nation. And it was a tough game early in the year. We always played them twice. And so we come back in the playoff. And Bobby Redman and I always said on TV, it's whoever wins that second game. And usually it was the team that lost in the regular season won the second game. So they beat us in the first game. We come back in 94. They got Ivan Green, Chris Redman.
Sheesh.
They got either Tony Driver. Tony Driver is a freshman, I think. Unbelievable team. They're ranked 5th in the country. We beat them. And I mean, it was unbelievable. But we made the whole year, everything we were going to do in that game was to set up what was going to be used in that game. So we had a trap that we were in all year long, and we had a quarterback keeper off that trap that we'd never ran until that Mel game. We had a quick screen to the wide receiver that we ran. They played man-to-man that we ran all year long. Even we'd be up, we just keep throwing that. So their stats said, stop the quick screen. Well, we put in off that a motion where the guy blocked. And then we did motion, and he went by, he didn't block, and he went up the sideline. So in that game, we come out, and we get the ball our first time, and Dustin Ottman, who's slow as can be against those guys, he rides the trap in there, and it looks like the running back's going, and then he keeps it, and he goes to the house. I can still remember that. The celebration was unreal. All right, we're up 7-0. We stop them. We come back. They punt to us. We do our fake screen. I think we might have in that series run a screen. They come up and blow our guy up. They kill him. All right. And our guys look at me like, what are you doing? And so, because they're right up there.
Cover zero,
so
yeah.
we come with our motion, and they think they're going to get, so they got two guys that blow up. Our guy steps back, and they literally tackle him. He doesn't have the ball. The guy goes up the sideline that was supposed to block, hits him wide open. It's Brian McDonald, Sean McDonald. Sean McDonald, Brian's older brother, catches it. We're up 14-0 in the first two drives.
Who's the quarterback?
Dustin Ottman.
Oh, that was Ottman.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
okay.
Ottman.
Yeah.
And throws a perfect ball. And then the third one, I don't know what we ran, but we give it to Tendai. And he was hey, even if they could a shot at tackling him, he's like a bowling ball.
Yeah.
He goes in. We're up 21-0. And it's the first quarter. We're going nuts. They are shocked. There's a highlight film. I think it's Ivan Green. He's chasing Tendai in the end zone. He kicks the pylon. He kicked it 30 yards, almost up in the stands. They are so upset. They're throwing helmets. It was a great highlight film.
Yeah.
It was a great highlight film. And I play that to this day. And we ended up beating them, I want to say 28-0 or something.
Oh, wow.
Or they might have scored. Another thing that happened, we had a backup. We had a kid get hurt. Brian Havis, who went to the Air Force Academy, got hurt in warm-ups.
St. Rayfield boy.
St. Rayfield boy. He gets hurt in warm-ups. We put Jay Arnold in as a backup, as our left corner, and he gets an interception that game because we had him down cold. And it was the worst game, Chris Redman. I feel sorry for him almost.
Almost. Not just quite.
Because it was just one of his worst games. They got behind. And so, I mean, they're behind 21-0. So we know they got to just throw it. And so it was just one of the perfect games that we played. So, and we should have won it all that year. The next week we lay an egg.
To who?
Lose to Fern Creek.
Oh, well, you talk about how good Male was.
Well,
Fern Creek
was phenomenal.
I mean,
and we're all in the same district.
Francois Jackson?
Yes.
I mean,
St.X, Male, Fern Creek, and every one of those teams was throwing out college athletes during the 90s. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we're all in the same district.
Well, Francois was a St.X running back for a second.
Just a freshman year.
Yeah. For
half a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We parted ways.
Yeah, right. So then 95, you come back after losing Fern Creek.
right.
Fern Creek didn't win it that year, did they? In 94?
No.
Who won
95?
No, 94. Back to 94. You lose Fern Creek. Who won it?
Not Fern Creek. I want to say maybe Shelby County. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Or maybe, no. Oh, no, this is terrible. Freaking Trinity won it. We knocked Male out of it, and then Fern Creek loses to somebody, and Trinity wins it because they're on the other side.
Lucky Trinity.
But that 94 was one of my best friends and one of the greatest men that ever coached high school football that I coached against. Dennis Lampley, a great guy. But 94, we beat them in the first game. Poor Dennis is watching us. He tried to intimidate us. He'd be watching our guys. One of the receivers ran over him. He got put in the EMS unit because I don't know what happened to Dennis, if he punctured a lung or something. But he couldn't coach the game, and we beat him in overtime. Tony Wood scored on a touchdown in overtime in 94, and Dennis and I would laugh about that. He'd say, you'd have never beat us. But I think he was in the EMS unit until they checked him out. And he was actually on the sidelines during the game.
Late in the game.
But he could hardly talk or whatever. It was unbelievable.
Well, you come back in 95. And
95, we come back, and we're rolling. We're dominating everybody. We got Jeff Brunelli's quarterback. We got Tendai. We got just a great team and outstanding defense. But Fern Creek has an outstanding team, so did Male. So we beat Male, but we're playing Fern Creek in the last game of the season. But the week before against Male, our quarterback, Jeff Ranelli,
breaks his collarbone.
Yeah. They said one of the worst breaks they'd ever seen. And so I remember that we come back and I said, get everybody in the room. I said, coaches, you're in the room with us. I want to talk to the team right now. Because it was like a morgue. We just beaten Male 28-14 out there, semifinal of the region. And we should be elated. But everybody's down because of Jeff. And so I get everybody in there. And I told the coaches, you're in there. And I said, you just back me up. So I went on a tirade. And I can't use the language I used that night, but I said, if you don't think we're going to win a state championship, you get your
out of the room.
Out of the room. And I remember that. And then from that point on, they picked it up. The next day, I had donuts for them, and we said, we're going to win this thing. We're going to take Michael Baxter, who's a sophomore. We're not going to ask Michael to do anything he can't do, but he could throw pretty well. And I said, we're going to ride 10 down, our offensive line, and our defense to a state championship. Well, and that's what we did. But we also did something, God, you're going to hear this for the first time ever. Back when people didn't have a signal system. Well, Fern Creek that year started signaling their offensive plays in. And they only ran about 4, maybe 5 plays. All right?
Uh-oh.
So, shoot, I think it was the second last game, our 8th game. So we had like 2 games to get ready for Fern Creek. And, So then Fern Creek beats us the last game of the season. So we end up 9-1. They beat us. Michael didn't have too good a game. I think we lost 28-7 out at their place. They hooting and hollering.
It was always hard to play
around
there. It was
always real hard to play there. And so anyway, we lose, so we go in the playoffs. So we got 3 games to get ready because we know we're going to play them again.
Yeah.
So we start studying their signaling system. And this isn't, I mean, we didn't film or anything, but we studied, we watched, we sent somebody to every game they played, and that's all. We didn't scout them. We knew what they were going to do. We just scouted the guy giving the signals, and what play was running, we charted it. And by the time we played them, we pretty much knew.
You knew exactly what
everything's going to happen. And we had these little signs. This one was called Pony. We just gave every play a
name,
a little name and a little picture. And man, it's helped when you knew what was coming.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Michigan football before Michigan football.
We were probably 90% right. And so it helped.
What'd y'all win by?
But we scored a heck of a lot of points. We did a lot. Because we played for that, and we did a little old Sneaky Pete, and that was one. Poor Coach Gibson. He was a great guy too. I've been fortunate enough to coach with some great guys and had a lot of respect for
Good
him.
relationships. Yeah.
But Russ Gibson was a great coach, had great teams. But we did one where we didn't really, and rules were a little bit different. We'd run a guy into the hole because we always used the, messenger system. Yeah. So we would tell the guy that was coming out to just kind of stay in there a little bit longer, okay? And so he would come out late, and so the guy that went on, but somebody had already come off. And follow me?
Oh yeah, I know exactly where you're going. These guys don't know where you're going. I know where you're going.
So the guy came in there and everybody saw him. So the guy came running off late, and we made sure I was right in line with the ball. So he'd come off to our sideline. He'd stand there like he's on the sideline, but he was still on the field. And I was usually coaching from the field. Anyway, so I'm kind of standing there. Well, they don't see him, and they think, and so we break the huddle, and our guys in a tight formation, their DB's right there with him. I make sure I step off. So our guy that came off, he's standing on the sidelines looking this way, not even in a stance. When we told the official, and the rule was when the huddle broke, everybody had to be 17 feet. So we made sure that he was within 17 feet before he came off. We supplied the right ingredients for the rule to be good. And officials knew, well, we just line up and there's nobody within 15 yards of our wide receiver. We throw it over there, boom, touchdown. And I mean, Coach Gibson went nuts, broke his head. Threw his headset down, broke, and didn't have headsets the rest of the game. That was another game.
Wow.
So everything went right. But, and so we ended up beating them and then win a state championship because they had a great team.
With a sophomore quarterback who had never taken a varsity snap probably ever.
And, and then I think Tendai probably carried the ball 25, 26 times and had a great game. And people gave me a hard time throughout the year. They said, you're not playing Tendai. Even the reporters said, is he going to be ready? I said, he'll be ready. I said, he doesn't need a whole lot of carries because we run. He'll be conditioned. And then when it came time, the playoffs, he became our main cog. We threw it just enough. We gave it to Tendai.
When you had some good receivers on that team, I'm trying to think because I want to go to 97 and I know all those
Well, real
guys.
quick, I want to talk Tendai just for a second. I worked with Tendai when I came in.
Great
guy. When I started in the mortgage industry, I know nothing about St.X Trinity, again, going back to that. But I worked with Tendai, Bryan, Lindsey. You talked about Bryan. Bryan's one of my best friends. And actually, we've mentioned this on a previous podcast. He actually hired me into the industry, right?
Yeah,
so
great guy.
Bryan, by the way, had amazing things to say about you. He was so influential. But we'd be walking around the office and Tendai. And there's always a Tendai story.
Right.
You know, so actually hearing you talk about this right now, I'm having flashbacks to 03, 04, 05 when I was at, First Commonwealth. And it was like Tendai was the man. And he was, and I got to, honestly, I know Tendai's, friend of mine, and I love the guy to death. I'm like, I wish I could have seen him play because you hear him talk right now.
And the thing about, it's not only seeing him play, but being around Tendai, he has an exuberance.
He's infectious.
And yes, and that smile, and he sees you. Every time we see each other, he gives me a big bear hug and everything else. And he's just a great individual. And his son's just like him. He's got a son that's a freshman.
Oh, really?
Over at St.X.
Oh, cool.
Except he's a corner. And I said, how come you're not a running back? He said, I don't like to get hit. I said, well, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Your dad probably didn't like to get hit, but he did more hitting as a running back than defensive backs because he ran over people.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was that strong.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's 95. So 96, you lose to
Male.
That was Male.
They lost to Male again in the regional final, and then they won the state. In 96, they won the state in 98.
Yeah.
We won it 95 and 97.
97, Michael Baxter comes back as a senior.
Right.
And you talk about a loaded team.
Right.
Bernard Jackson.
Right.
Chip Mattingly. Obviously, Michael
Chris
Baxter.
Sheehan.
Chris Sheehan.
Who started as a sophomore.
Chris Sheehan.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about Chris. God bless. Gary Hughes.
Right.
Tyson Radke.
Yes.
They were loaded.
Right.
And we start 2-3.
Right.
We literally lose our opener at
Lost
Rowell High School.
Cincinnati.
At Rowell.
At Rowell.
Terrible bus ride home. Absolutely terrible bus ride
without
home. By the way, guys, if y'all can tell, I was on this team.
Yeah.
But we come back to Old Cardinal, and we had the better team, but Trinity beats us. Trinity beats us
7-0.
7-0.
7-0. Yeah.
7-0.
Right.
And we fall to 2-3.
Yep.
Coming off of a 95 championship, a 96 team that was fire, and all this hype.
And ranked number 1.
Yeah.
We're 2-3.
Wow.
We had a Sunday coaches meeting. We moved Bernard Jackson to tailback and to our up back on the punt team. We never really used him at tailback, but the threat of using people heard about that. But we used him on our punt. We had about 4 fake punts that he either almost took the house or took the house because you just couldn't tackle him. But we got with the defensive guys and said, you guys have to take over. Because we were struggling offensively because we really had a little bit of suspect offensive line and no speed in the backfield.
Who was that? Was that
Brandon Terrell?
Brandon Terrell and Larry
and John Gist.
Oh, John
We
Gist.
moved John Gist from I think DB to fullback.
Brandon Terrell.
What you talk about, a great blocker. But so we kind of went to the eye, not a lot of option, and throwing play action with that. But so offensively, we were struggling, and we played those first 5 games. We played awfully good teams. Cincinnati St.X, they had Rocky Boylan, who played in the pros for. They had great teams. So anyway, I think we might have played Moeller. Did we play Moeller?
Not that year.
Not year. But anyway, so we're 2-3, and then the defense took over, and Bernard Jackson just went wild. Bernard and Chip were unbelievable. And I tell you what, the hardest hit and the scariest hit I've ever seen was in the playoffs. We're playing PRP, and the poor quarterback for PRP was in shotgun. He fumbled the snap, but he not only fumbled it, but when he picked it up, he turned around the opposite way. And we used to take Bernard and move him around. We put him at defensive end outside, brought the end inside because we wanted Bernard to come from a different spot on a stunt. So now he's got to run starting, and he had a knock at timing it up so he'd get way off the line. And he kind of shuffle up, and he was on a dead run. That guy fumbles the ball, turns around, and Bernard, bam, hits him right in the face. When you could do that, and you could hear the hit, the kid's helmet, he broke his face mask, all right, or broke the snap on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was on the quarterback's helmet or on Bernard's. I think on Bernard's helmet. But anyway, you could hear that, and the kid went totally out cold. We knocked him out. It was scary. And that kid didn't come back in, unlike Jeff Brom. But that kid did not come back in, and it was scary. I mean, he was down for a long time, but that was the hardest hit I ever saw. So we take and win that game, and then go and run the table.
Well, you know that Final Four game, Nelson County,
right?
Guys, I'm telling y'all as a
great atmosphere.
16-year-old sophomore, I tell people this story. I felt like pregame. I mean, like people are lying 6-7 feet deep around the track, right? The place it's sold out, and here we're out in the field, and then here comes Nelson County, smoke, laser lights. Yeah. I felt like I was at the Super Bowl. I swear.
Right. Oh, it was unbelievable. And I mean, and that the entire city, the entire county, Nelson County, was there, and they had a heck of a team, and it was a battle.
Cody Brown,
yes,
Ray Childs,
right.
He played at U of L. He works with us, Ray does.
Yes, and again, Bernard went down there and blew some guy up on a punt return. Oh my God, lit him up, and ball popped out, and we got a sharp field, scored there, but it went back and forth to almost the end, and we win that game. John Gist was our fullback. He had transferred from Nelson County, and so it was a big game for him. He loved it. But to this day, I got about 4 games that are just highlights in terms of high school football atmosphere. Nelson County was one on the road. Marshall County, down at Marshall County. You talk about details now. We had in the St.X Mafia, Brad Estes, who played tight end for us, his dad, Tony, worked for Bryan Dice, and they had a company plane. And I was talking about how I said, God, I don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about the facility. About 2 days later, I get a call. He said, Coach, I want to bring something over to you. He brings over, I thought I was like in the CIA. He's got Polaroid snapshots. He's got of the field, of the thing and everything else. He flew down on the company plane, took things, unbelievable. When we get down there, it's like Nelson County. The whole county's there. It's surrounded. And what was really neat about in those days, Nelson County, North Hardin, Marshall County, they had the old Bermuda field.
Yep.
So the field was beautiful, totally white lines, insignias and everything, but on a brown field. Yeah. That was the neatest thing and the greatest turf to play on. And we have a heck of a game there. And that was 99. No, 95.
No, that was
95.
Didn't it rain like cats and dogs?
And it rained.
Yeah.
It rained before.
Okay.
But that field was still in good shape. But yeah, it was a muddy game. But we could do it. You want to know more? Ronnie Kramer. You know Ronnie Kramer?
No.
He had a Prudential, and his boys run Prudential now. Prudential Heat and Air. So it's a plug for you, Ronnie. But Ronnie's a helicopter guy. So we're playing North Hardin in the playoffs. And our home field is Manual Stadium. Well, I'm over there. I said, oh, my God. I mean, literally, there were like 6 inches of water on the field. And I'm over there I said, I got to cover my classes. We're doing everything. I had some farmer players over trying to help me get water off this field. And I called Ronnie. I said, hey, you still got that helicopter? He said, yes. It's a true story. He said, I'll be there. He leaves work, gets in his helicopter, flies over there, and he literally hovered. He got all that water off the field. Now, bad thing was, it went to the sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
Literally in that game, we were standing on the sidelines in about, I'd say, 8 to 10 inches of water.
Wow.
It was puddled in the end zone also. But at least the field, we got it off the field. I don't know how we'd have played. It was so money.
Well, there's a rain game I want to talk about because we had a good friend of ours who played at Male, played at UK with me, Anthony Thornton. He was a punter.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one in a second because he has some rain stories that he thinks he remembers a little differently than you and I'll remember. But 97, so we beat Nelson.
Right.
We come back, we play Trinity.
Right.
You know, obviously, probably the coldest game I've ever played in my life.
Unbelievable.
And Ben Bosher hits a field goal to win the game. So, you know, we come back. You talk about ultimate determination, 2-3 to the state. 98, we lose to Male.
We lose to Male in the regional final.
And honestly, we had a pretty good team. But you know, Mike Daniel Johnson,
right,
quarterback. You know,
but we were a little bit shy.
Yeah,
and we were young.
Yeah,
we had all you guys there.
Yeah, so we were all juniors. We come back 52 seniors our senior year, and we were so just devastated. State champion, we lose as juniors. We made this commitment to one another. We're like, there's no partying. Like it's football and class, and that's it. And we come out riding high, number 1 in the state.
Yep.
We're loaded. I mean, loaded. And we had a little bit of a, like, what's going on in the backfield.
Right.
We go to Lexington Catholic. They had just put in their brand new field. Like first place in the state with the turf.
The turf field. We were the first to play on it.
And we come out and we play a really, really bad Cov Catholic team who ended up going 3-7.
Right.
And we lose 24-14.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We lose 24-14. I remember we're walking out and you know, it's funny the things you remember, but like I think we threw the ball one time that game.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And he comes up to me, he's like, Jesse, we're gonna, because I had a pretty good junior year. You know,
Right.
It was funny. You talked about that fake screen.
Yeah.
One of my first touchdowns, my breakout game my junior year was DeSales. We're playing DeSales. They're 8-0. The Mingus boy, like they're good.
Right. They're undefeated.
They're undefeated.
Number 1 in the state.
Yeah. And we go to junior year, we go to DeSales, but they played at Iroquois. You know, and we played at Manual. They played at Iroquois. And Peter DeZarn, shout out to my man Peter. Peter was so bummed because Peter was supposed to be the guy running the fake screen and go. And I was supposed to be the guy getting the fake screen. He was going to get the touchdown. Well, somehow coach pulled an okey doke and we switched. And I ran X on that position, X.
Right.
I was a Z. And that was about a 70-yard touchdown that Daniel threw me.
To start the game off.
Yeah, we started the game that way. And then I actually scored 3 touchdowns in that game. And a big shout out to Coach Wagner. Craig Yeast had scored a touchdown for Kentucky like the week before, and he dove in from like the 4-yard line. So big britches here myself. I dove in from like the 4-yard line, and Coach Wagner pulls me off the sideline. He said, "If you will never get another pass." So long story short, that when you're talking about that fake screen, I'm like, well, that was one of my. It was on the front page of the Courier Journal. I had that picture. It's pretty awesome. But senior year, we're loaded. We come back, we lose 24-14. One of my best childhood friends. My dad walks up to me after we lose. Tommy Blair's been shot. So like. The game to me at that point doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
My best friend's dad, you know, is probably, who knows, right? Thank God he made it. But we come back and you talk about, and I don't remember from our sophomore year, but you talk about Scotty losing 3 games in a row and probably one of their best years.
Right.
And about how hard it was and about how just a bear Scotty was at practice.
Was a motherfucker for those 3. I think it was like, it would have been like 2 weeks probably worth of time just because the games were spread out. He was a motherfucker.
Well, so hey, you used the word the other day, war. I can only imagine how much war.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah.
Well, we come back and it's back.
He took every drill that we hated.
Right.
That wore you out, where we had to like beat each other up and you had to run and do all these things. He made practice was just that. We didn't play. We hardly even shot the basketball. It was just those drills for 3 hours.
Well, so we come back from that Cov Cath game, and again, we 24-14 wasn't really fair. We didn't compete at all, and it was back to summer hamburger.
Oh,
you know,
it was brutal. Yeah,
it was a rough week,
drills.
And we were coming back against a really good Bullitt East team.
Yeah.
At Bullitt East, you talk about a county environment.
Right.
They had the Gossam boy.
Yes.
And Bullitt East, I think they thought they had a chance going into that game.
Oh, they did. Oh, they talked about it the whole time.
And I feel like we won like 57-0, 63 to
Well,
nothing.
and that's what I talked to you the week before. I said, believe me, it'll never happen like this again. And we worked all week. And we said, we're going to open up, throwing the daylights. We threw the ball.
I scored 3 touchdowns against Bullitt that
we
game.
threw the ball everywhere. Even we got up, we kept on throwing, and we told people, "You're not going to pack it in."
Oh no, Nick
against us."
Passafume had a 50-yard catch.
Yeah.
But when you open it up,
Right.
guess what? Ryan Payne. Oh,
Right.
Danny Butler, Nick Eagle.
And then we decided on we benched. Ryan Payne was our best
Starting
runner,
quarterback.
but he was a quarterback the week before.
Yeah.
So we said, forget that. We'll go with the sophomore junior quarterback because he can throw it.
Junior, yeah.
All right, Eric Saley.
Yep.
He can throw it, and he can also run the option. He's smart. He's just green. And then Ryan could be a heck of a running back.
And you talk about guys like I'm like watching highlights in my head right now. So we lose that first game, and then it was just gangbusters.
Yeah.
We blow them out. I don't even know who. We play Male. Hey, Male comes in. We talked about this Anthony. Male comes in. Montrell Jones, Mike Bush. They're loaded, right? They come into Manual Stadium, and it's 1 versus 2, and we beat them 39-3.
Yeah, something like that.
39-3.
I mean, we rolled everybody the whole rest of the year.
It was dirty. Trinity, forget about it, right? It was just bang, 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 bang. Well, then we get to the playoffs. And first game, we play at Male High School. We play against like a North Hardin team or something.
Right.
No, I think we played it up. We played.
We were behind every game.
Green Wave. Who was that? No, the first game we won.
Meade County.
We beat them by like a thousand.
Yeah, right.
North Hardin, we came back.
Right.
We beat them. And then Male in the quarters, right? Well, this is the funny part about the water.
Right.
You know where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah.
So Male High, they've of course, since we beat them, they've gone on a tear, and it's 1 versus 2.
It's
again.
1 versus 2 again, yeah.
And the game, there was a little rain, and Male likes to remember this way. They think that we watered the field all week.
Right, but it rained like crazy.
Rained like crazy. And Anthony tried to say that Bobby Redman called you, and he had done us a big solid the week before.
Right.
By the way, I love Bobby Redman.
Oh, I do too.
Love Bobby Redman.
Great guy.
But he said that Bobby called you and said, Coach, I let you use my field the week before, so let's move it to Male High. Because, we're going to take our home game to Male High.
Right, exactly.
So they get in a bus wreck.
Yep.
On the way there. And they come over and we end up we win that game. It was close.
It was real close.
Yeah, it was real close.
Because it was so muddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was real muddy.
When he says it was muddy, I mean, it was, you're talking inches of water on the whole field.
Well,
there were no
it was
helicopters.
so muddy that I made the guys walk back because I didn't want to let mud on the bus. Yeah.
Core memories. I mean, they've heard me talk about this.
Talk about this, yeah.
I mean, I walk back with my dad. It's one of the best memories of my life.
Right,
You talk about the snowballs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we walk, we beat Male, which, again, we didn't water the field down. We beat Male. Well, then we got to go on the road.
Yeah.
And we go down to a Hoptown team that they were loaded.
Absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny story about that one. We talked all week long about, they had a kid that's just signed with
Arkansas.
Committed with, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay.
Michigan, DB punt returner, number 20. And we said, well, bottom line is, wherever he is, we're not throwing to him. Well, we knew he's probably going to be on you.
Yeah.
So we're not throwing to him. Well, we get down there, and God dang it, I don't know exactly how to plan it, but we're about to first or second series, and daggone, they got him telling Jesse, and I'm getting, so it wasn't first, it must have been a little bit later, I'm getting frustrated because we're calling everything away from Jesse. That's our best receiver. So I said, forget this. We finally throw one inside. Interception. And I don't know, did he go for a touchdown?
I think so.
I think he did.
I think so.
He really did.
Yeah, he goes for a touchdown.
What were you thinking at that point?
Like, stick to the plan.
No, it wasn't that bad because I'm hard-headed. So anyway, I said, God dang it. Hey, I'll show them. I think we did it again. He got a second pick.
Oh,
I don't know if
kidding me.
it wasn't a pick 6. We got a second interception. Well, the guys in the press box, Coach Wagner, they're saying, God dang, Coach, we said we're not throwing to him. I said, well, we're not throwing to him anymore. So I got 2.
Hey, I
It's
figured it
over.
out. Y'all have ever seen that? You know how you give a mouse a cookie?
Right.
So once Coach started throwing me the ball junior year, I would follow him on the sidelines. When I was on the sidelines,
Oh, yeah.
Coach, come on.
Yeah,
Here's the play. Here's the play.
He's in my
Here's the
ear all the
play.
time.
Here's the
Oh,
play.
you've been selling for a long time.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
I know you very well.
Guess what? This all makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Everything makes sense. All the nudging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go down 21-3 at halftime. We're down 21-0.
Here's the key. The key to that game, we're down 21-0, and they got to kick off. They just scored right before halftime. And this, I give Ryan Payne credit. He catches the ball, and he's a tremendous competitor. He goes tearing down the field. He is driving. He's breaking tackles, but he's got it on the right sideline, and he had the presence of mind to get out of bounds. He runs out of
Stop
bounds.
the clock.
He didn't get stopped.
Oh, he
the
runs
clock.
it like 50
Yeah,
yards
yeah,
and gets out of bounds.
stops the clock,
Time for us.
and
Yeah.
so we got
You scored.
time. So we
Justin
line
Pickett
up.
hits a.
We hits like about a, I don't know what, about a 30-yard field goal.
It felt like
okay.
70. It felt like 70, but yeah,
Yeah,
probably
it might have
30.
been.
Yeah, yeah.
Going
I don't know
into
what it was.
halftime.
So we go into halftime, 21-3, and I'll never forget this. My first words of those guys were, usually we met as coaches, before we go in. I said, guys, I'll be right back. And I went storming there. I said, get up here. I said, that's the difference in the game. I said, we're going to beat these guys 24-21. I had no freaking clue, and I really
Sounds
didn't believe it. It sounded good because we had done nothing.
There was a little more paint being peeled, by the way, but he was
we had
confident.
done nothing, and so we made some adjustments to that. But we came out, took the first drive down and scored 21-10. Took the next drive down and scored. We're 21-17 now. All right, now they're starting to come back from being shell shocked, moving the ball. They got the ball going in fourth quarter, and they got to make a decision: go for a first down or kick a field goal. They kick a field goal, they're going to probably put it out of reach. Okay, but back in those days, they didn't. We really always had the best kicking game in the state. But anyway, they go for it on fourth down, and I think it was Haydock. Somebody makes a great tackle. We stop them. I can still see Haydock run off. It looks
Dancing.
like
Oh, yeah,
his
yeah,
hands
yeah,
and legs
yeah,
coming
yeah.
up off of his body.
Yeah.
And we get the ball back. Now, here we are. St.X, everybody says, minute and 8 seconds, y'all have no chance to go 82 yards for a touchdown. And I could have killed you.
Oh, I already know
All
what you're
right.
gonna tell me.
Oh,
I
my
know what you're gonna
God. So we're throwing the ball. We're sprinting and throwing it to the sidelines. The first time, I think he got out of bounds.
Oh, boy.
But all of a sudden, we throw another one.
Got a little
He
confidence.
gets the first down, which
He's always
would
testing the
stop the
limits, huh?
clock, and he keeps on jiggling and running. And that clock, I'm going to get out of bounds. And so he finally gets out. Wait a minute, you might have got tackled in.
I got tackled inbounds. I got
Inbounds.
tackled inbounds.
So we got to waste a timeout. Oh, I want to kill him. So I can't, but I would have taken him out there, but I got to leave him in there because I was throwing to him.
Yeah.
So anyway, but he used our last. No, we still have
We
one
have one
left.
more, yeah.
We have one left.
Yeah.
But we would have probably needed it. I thought we would have needed it, and I can remember this whole thing. So we called timeout. And then I do remember chewing him.
I was going to say, you wasted about half the time out
Yeah.
telling me how
yeah,
yeah.
what a
Yeah.
Oh,
dumbass
Coach
he
D,
was.
I've been on the receiving
Yeah.
end of plenty
anyway, I
of
was trying to
those.
create. I was trying to create.
Getting there,
we
turn it over.
decided. So we went spread, and we had our slowest receiver, Brooks Mayer,
God
on the
love him.
inside, and we had Jesse outside, who we knew number 20 was going to be all over him, and we knew the safety was going to be looking at him, and we had our other receiver, I don't know who, always split out to wide side, and we put Ryan Payne in the slot. And so we said, Brooks, you go and you just got to find that safety and go where he doesn't go. But I'm telling you, he's going to jump all over Jesse. And I'd have to go back and look, but I think Eric Selling did a heck of a job. He dropped back and he looked, he dead eyeballed Jesse, and that safety just nudged enough. And slow Brooks,
Oh, yeah.
dipped inside, and Eric saw him. And I was thinking about Eric, he was smart, and he hit him kind of on the line, and he caught the ball falling down in the end zone. And the safety actually got back over and got a hit on him as Brooks was falling in the end zone. Touchdown with about 8-10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
They got one play after the kickoff throw, a Hail Mary, but in the end zone. But 20 was on him. The safety jumped over on him, and Brooks catches that ball. It was
And you talk about the most unlikely. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the only varsity touchdown he ever scored.
Yeah, I think
I threw him his other
might be
touchdown
right.
as a freshman.
Yeah, it might be.
And he scores the game-winning game
Right,
on the road.
On the
What was
road.
the final score?
24-21.
Yeah, 24-21.
24-21.
Yeah, and then we come back. We come back.
Proclamation
Babe
at
Ruth.
halftime.
Yeah,
calling
exactly.
the shot.
He,
That was unbelievable.
he gives the best
Calling the shot.
pregame, halftime, postgame.
I believe that.
He held court. Let's just put it that way.
We had some good halftime talks.
We did. So
I can imagine.
we come back to Old Cardinal, which, by the way, you talk about. It's like you rent a car to go on the road, and you got to come back to your old beat up Honda.
Yeah.
So we play Trinity at Papa John's. We got to play in the state finals at Old Cardinal, and I'm talking Old Cardinal at this point is rough.
Like concrete.
Oh,
Concrete under the
their
turf.
seams. Oh, it's
Oh yeah.
unbelievable.
So
Terrible.
we're playing Bryan Station,
Bryan Station.
who's got the Haskins twins.
The Haskins twins. They got Eric Shelton, who played in pros. I mean, unbelievable team.
Wow.
6 foot. I think he was 6'10". I'm being facetious. Eric Shelton.
Oh, he's
and could run like
Right.
4.5. And so we went back and forth, but they were winning pretty much the whole game.
But it was back and
It
forth.
was raining,
It was a little bit of rain.
like a little bit.
But every time that we tackled Shelton, it was usually Justin Haydock riding him.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody else having to come jump
really?
on him. Oh, yeah, I mean, he was a man.
Oh, he was a man child, and I think Justin had about 37 tackles that
Right,
game.
yeah,
Seriously,
heck of a game.
I can still remember. And you know, Nathan Ratledge was a good DB,
Right.
but like Shelton gets to the outside and he's gone, and you
Right.
never think that. So we're back and forth. Well, you know, obviously we're down. We come down
In
fourth
their
quarter.
Oh, no. It was in the overtime that we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we go to overtime.
So we go to overtime. So they got the ball. We win the toss, which that's the key to any overtime. So we played defense. They got the ball, so it's like 3rd and 1, okay? And we've been practicing this thing. Terry Bean, give him total credit. He came up with this, but he copied it off of, we used to use a thing on offense called shutdown, where on extra points and field goals, our linemen would be like the old Dallas Cowboys, and they would go down their stance and yell. And so we did that and got all kinds of penalties against the other team for about 2 years. Finally, the official said, we're going to say that's encroachment. You're assimilating a stance. And I say, it's not. But they would call us, so we had to quit using it. Well, Terry Bean, our defense coordinator, on his own said, well, defensively, we need something like that. And so he would practice with our guys. We would shift line. But then once they would get to their position, they would just do a belly flop. They'd be in their stance and they would just like, they were doing a push, they would throw their hands out and their feet back and just hit the ground and just kind of grunt. So he's doing, and I would watch him in practice as that's the stupidest thing. I said, Terry, what are you doing? He said, oh, coach. He says, you know what I mean? He said, we're going to need this. You know what I mean? He would always repeat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says, coach, we'll be all right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I said, okay, Terry. And I was making fun of me. And I said, there's no way we're going to ever need this. We're in there, 3rd and 1. All of a sudden, he said, we're going to call it. I said, go for it.
3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 in overtime.
In overtime. That's
In
what I was
overtime.
about to say.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
they take
Ballsy.
and do it. I mean, no, I guess it had to be, no, it was 3rd and 1.
It was 3rd and 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 1. So we do it. They jump. I mean, everybody jumps. So now penalty. So now it's 3rd and 6. And so I think they ran through it. I don't know what they did,
Yeah.
but they don't get it. So since they had the ball first, 4th down, they got to kick a field goal. So they kick field goal. They go up 31 to 20, 27, 28. Okay. So anyway, so we go out there and we get a real good gain on 1st down. Got the ball about to 2 or something. And then on 2nd down, we lose yardage. 3rd down, I think we throw it incomplete. On 4th down, or sometime we got back to the 1. We're 4th and 1 or 2. All right. Called timeout. Kids come run to the sideline. I had them come over. This time they come run the sideline. And they get there. I said, well, before I could even say it, they said, Coach, we're going. I said, chill, guys. We're going for it. We're not, because I learned my lesson a couple years before. I had said at halftime in the Male game, if this ends up in a tie, I said, we're going to come back, tie this game up, and we're going to go for 2 and not kick it. And I was right on. We came back. We were down in Male in playoffs, and we would have been the tying, if we kicked the extra point. So I said, we're going for every assistant coach, my own brother included, said you can't ever take the game away from him. You're cheating them. You're giving them a chance to, you could lose the game. So I don't go for it. We kick it, we miss the extra point. We lose by a point to Male in the playoffs. So I remembered that, and I said, well, I'll never listen to any of y'all again. So when they came down, they said, Coach, what are you going to do? I said, you have no input. To Coach Wagner, I said, you have no input. We're going for it, all right? So I told the kids, we're going for it. And I said, what do y'all think? And they all said, Coach, 04. And Ryan Payne was a running back. He said, Coach, I'll get it. And Will Rabbit team was the tackle. He said, Coach, we're getting this thing, all of them. I mean, they destroyed the guy. And Eric read it perfect, gave it. Ryan, I mean, if he kept his feet, walked through the back.
The hole was so big, he basically fell down because
he basically fell down, and he dove. And the most dangerous thing was the guys that were on the bottom, Ryan Payne, he came up with tears and said, Coach, get him off of me. I mean, the dog pile on there. But that was a great moment there.
I'd be willing to bet that we could go another 5 hours. But we're coming on 2 hours.
Yeah.
And to kind of wrap some things up, we try to talk about things that are important. And there was two things that I'm a very observative person. There's two things. One, you showed us. One, I noticed before you'd even pointed it out. The first was the sign that you have buried in the back corner of the office.
Right.
And it said 15 to 14. And there was two names at the top of that scoreboard, and it was Trinity and St.X, which honestly blew me away because I don't know how many years ago that was, but I'm sure it's enough that it's not impressive, but crazy that even now you keep that memory right next to you. It's right behind him where he sits in his office.
It's to make sure you never
don't forget,
give up, and you don't forget. And one of the things I always told the kids, 9 times down, 10 times up. You're going to get knocked down. And that's one of the knockdowns that happen. But you got to keep on going. I tell the kids every day, keep on going.
And the other thing was this poster, and the quote was, "One man can make a difference, and every man should try."
Right. John F. Kennedy.
Like that a lot.
John F. Kennedy that hangs in my office, to this day. Got it I got it the year after I became head coach. That summer, went to Boston, went to the Kennedy Library. That's always been a big kind of mantra of philosophy of mine. I can't do everything, I can't solve everything, but I at least got to try.
I can try.
And that's been my coaching philosophy. You got to try to make a difference, and you got to try with whatever your lot in life is. I tell the guys, hey, fries up, be the best McDonald's fry cook you can be the quickest on getting that change out. It's all about whatever your job is, do it the best you can. I go back to that poor administrator that thought be the best was about pride and beating everybody. It was about being the best person that you can be. And in this day and age, I tell the kids now, we got to try to be better people. I mean, it's a brutal, mean world. And if we can just try to be a little kinder every day and take care of other people and not, as competitive as I am, it's not just about, it's winning inside. The guy you got to compete with is the guy you look in the mirror every day.
Amen.
That's what you got to do.
You said it earlier. You said be the best version of yourself. Right. Just, I don't know, is that the bracelet you got on right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be the best version of yourself. It's just a reminder on be better.
Right.
Be your best.
Exactly.
Be your best. And
what are we here for?
Right.
But to do the best we can, and that's all. And then you know what? The people that get depressed and have anxiety, a lot of it is self-imposed because
they're aware.
Yeah.
They know that they're capable of more, and they're not.
I say, guys, I never had to, do anything but look at myself, because there were a lot of times I didn't do a good job, whether it was a win or a loss. I wasn't happy because I didn't have the energy. I didn't have whatever. People ask me all the time, you got a lot of energy. I make myself a lot of time. I tell the basketball guys, guys, sometimes it's fake, but I'm not going to come in here and not have it, because that's what that sign says.
Coach D taught me that.
Yeah, you got to do it.
We would have
he's a great
at
example.
5 a.m, and he'd walk, Tyler,
Yeah.
"Ah," he's all excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, Coach, I'd like,
Exactly.
nah, come on, man, come on. Like, and it left such an impression
Right.
on me because that set the tone. He did that, and then we actually developed, like, as players, decided when we were doing our stretching that I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
Right.
We would just be making noises.
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't even, we weren't saying words. We weren't
Right.
talking. We weren't even, it was just, because he had a philosophy, a quiet gym is a losing gym. I talked
Exactly,
about that
right.
with Bobby.
Last night. Yeah.
And but it started with
Right.
him though. And it's
Exactly.
bled into my professional life,
Well,
how I handle my
and
kids.
he's given that to you. So
Yeah.
you bring that. And that's what that coaching thing's all about. And that's what living's all about. You got to take and do what you can do to be the best you can be.
Yeah.
Well, you just said Bobby, and I wanted to hit on this because talking about the John F. Kennedy sign. I know guys that played for you in the 80s. I know guys that played for you in the 90s. I know guys that played for you in the 2000s. I don't know any basketball players that have played for you, but I can say that there's not a guy that I know that played for you that doesn't love you from the bottom of their heart like a dad, because you are that genuine dude who's that role model, and that's something that you've made so many boys into men. And I mean that. And so Bobby Fernandez last night, we're talking about a big decision. He's going to Illinois State, or he's recruited by Illinois State and Villanova. And the obvious choice from everybody in America, except for Bobby and Marissa, his girlfriend, is Villanova.
Villanova, yeah.
And so he goes home and tells Elaine and Butch, and Butch and Elaine are both outspoken people. And he goes home and tells Elaine and Butch that he's gonna go to Illinois State with his girlfriend. And I'm not sure exactly what the words were that Bobby said, but basically Butch said, "You can get out."
Yeah.
And the first place he went to was your house.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how emotional he got last night talking about having your place, even though you probably wanted him to go to Villanova.
Right.
He knew
I
that,
did.
but having that safe place where he could go, and it was the first place he thought of, and
Speaks
just
volumes.
it was pretty wild, yeah. But he obviously, like everybody, he had nothing but good things to say about you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure there are a few out there that I was probably too hard on. I apologize to those guys, but the one thing, and it is, if you coach, and even like today, it's such a different world. You always say, "Oh, am I being too hard or whatever?" So the thing that I've learned is tell them, guys, if I am being too hard, I apologize, but it's out of love, it's out of concern.
Out of love.
I want to try to get you through this incident, or try to teach you how to fight through. I mean, the other day we're running, one of our best athletes, he just won't push himself. He's probably not going to make his running test, and we're going to have to run him every day. But the thing is, he doesn't realize that I'm trying, or we're trying to keep pushing him, because once he breaks through mentally, then he'll be able to do it all the time. It's like the first time you ride
It's a skill.
the roller coaster, you're scared to death, and then you get it. Can we do it again, Mom?
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to try to get them through it. Sometimes we're too hard on them as coaches. And back in the 80s and 90s, in that generation, we've gotten a lot smarter nowadays. Some of those practices, I'd have probably been locked up. So, I mean, seriously.
Boys, we talking about the hills, Coach. The hills.
The hills killed you. I mean, and it probably was dangerous with the heat and everything. I do get a kick out of now. There's so many days that they're off or they're inside because of the wet bulb reader meeting and whatever, meter reading. And I laugh. And we got this text page, and it says, we're beyond the heat limit. No practice outside day. So I'm on there because all the coaches are on there. So as a basketball coach, that made a difference. We're inside. But anyway, I'll text back the trainers, "Oh, you're all soft." And they get so mad at me for doing that. But I appreciate that. And Bobby was a great guy. That night he came over. I just wanted him to have a safe place. And it's what we've talked about, relationships. It's what it's all about. And like the ring is a memory of, like we could talk about your team, and if the 95 team comes, we talk about them. I go out with some of those guys, get something to eat, and that's kind of neat. They'll call, say, "Hey, Coach, you want to go out?" And I love that. It just makes so much. We're gonna celebrate the 75 team 50 years here September 19th over at St.X, and those guys can't wait to get there, and they're all old men now, and it's just amazing. I'm still 18, but they're all older men, and it is the memories are just great.
Any and I know it's hard, but favorite memory, favorite game.
Oh gosh, I mean, there's so many. It's a combination of favorite. I mean, I could go almost like rapid fire. As an assistant, 11-10, we're 23-0. Okay, and we're playing Trinity in the regional final, and they're up 10-9. We've just messed up, turned the ball over, and think they got the game won. They got the ball, and it's 42 seconds to go. They're going to punt it deep in our territory. We put a 11-man rush on, don't have anybody back, but we don't block it. But their snapper snapped it over the punter's head. The kids say that some of our guys were spitting on the ball and yelling to center and everything else, but they snapped it over his head. We tackle the punter in the end zone for safety. We win 11-10. I can't tell you what that was like. And then we win a state championship, 25 straight victories. I remember Mike Sheehan was our offensive tackle, like 6'6". He picks me up. I'm the offensive line coach. I'm over yelling at Trinity, yeah, I take that, And it's a young coach. I wasn't very mature at that time, but so that's a memory. Heartbreaking memories. We come back in overtime, score. We're going to kick the extra point, go to double overtime against Trinity. And David Schaefer hits the uprights. I still can't stand U of L just for that because the uprights were bent in and he hit the left upright and bounced back. We lose 21-20. Oh. And I mean, that's got scar tissue. I almost resigned after that. But my brother says, don't do anything. It's my second year. And my wife said one thing to me. She says, are you kidding me? We're walking around my old neighborhood. I got a 6-pack of beer, and I this sounds good. And I'm saying, why am I doing this? All that work. And she says, you are so full of yourself. She says, you said, why'd you get in it? I said, well, for the kids. She says, story over. You're coaching next year. And I don't want to hear anything else about it. Quit feeling sorry for yourself.
It's a good woman.
She was always great. She'd always come home after a loss, get over it. Just, you got another game next week.
Well, it takes that.
It's hard to do that.
Oh, it takes a special.
I was going to say it takes
a lot of people hate losing more than they like winning.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Most real competitors, it's the fear of loss. It's not the achievement of winning.
But I want to say this. It takes a very special woman.
Very special
to be married to a coach.
And she is my best friend, my partner. I mean, we have such a great time now together. We just laugh and we act like two goofballs. And people would see us, just by ourselves. It's just crazy. But she is a very special woman, and through all those years. But there's so many great memories walking back after mud games. I mean, but that goes back to detail. We're not gonna mess that bus up. And then the times we rode back and got it muddy, first thing we did before I let the coaches go out, men, get out there. We got to clean the locker room and the bus up. I told you, I can tell you if it's a good program. Locker room's clean. If their shirt tails are tucked in, if they're on time, that's what it's all about. You better have discipline, and that makes a difference. But so many little and sideline memories with coaches. We're playing Male, the wet game year. Our defense coordinator, Todd Walsh, a great guy. He's calling defenses. Our offensive coordinator, who was a maniac in his younger years, Pat Chitwood, would go berserk over calls, over officials. And I had literally come up with rules to keep him back. Well, they made a call. He's going berserk. I didn't even know it. He hits Todd Walsh in the nose with his elbow. Todd's bleeding like a stuffed pig. I still don't know it, okay? So it must have been 2 or 3 series later. I walked down the sidelines, and there's Todd with gauze up his nose. I said, what happened to you? He said, Chitwood effing hit me in the nose with his elbow. And then they told a story afterwards. I didn't know anything about it.
That's so
but he's
funny.
all full of blood and everything. I threw syrup against the wall. We said we were going to pancake Manuel. It was a mud game, and it went all over Doug Shuddy, one of our assistant coaches. Well, after the game, I looked at him. His jacket is covered with mud because it's stuck to the syrup that got all over him. So there are great memories. I took a cow heart one year. The theme was we're going to cut their heart out. That was DeSales. I think, or maybe it wasn't that one. And I literally gave the pregame talk and pulled a cow heart out of my coat and said, we're going to cut their heart out. So there's so many memories that I've been fortunate.
Coach, on behalf of one, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Thanks.
It's been a lot of fun.
This is, I'm not joking. Like, if my phone wasn't about to explode, we could probably stay here for 8 hours and do this. But on behalf of the Funding Fathers, I want to say thank you for spending some time with us today at the closing table. And I meant what I said. Like, I'm excited. You gave me a different perspective. So
we're gonna get those boys.
No, they're gonna be St.X boys. I'll go on camera and say that. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach. Actually, and I have to ask. There's so many people to me watching this. My level of respect for you, just meeting you, but I had my level of respect before I met you was here because of all the people surrounding.
That.
But I know there's people watching, and I know we got to go. But I'd be remiss if we didn't say, there's one name that's popped up about 85 times in this conversation today. What does the rivalry between St.X and Trinity, what does that mean to you personally to be a part of something that big with two amazing schools?
Oh, it means, I mean, it's probably the crown, the jewel in the crown for my career to be a part of that game and that rivalry. And even to this day, I kid the guys, like the freshmen say, Coach, you're going to come to our game. I said, where is it? They'll say, oh, it's over at Trinity. I can't go over there. And I said, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I said, and I got to catch myself because in the old days, I would not say I'm kidding or whatever. And somebody think, well, that guy's an idiot, but it's such a great rivalry because two great schools respect each other. And I did this, I miss Coach Lampley so much. He was such a great guy. I got a great picture of me coaching basketball over there. He's still AD. He got his arm around me. He's a big old bear of a guy. He got about chokehold on me. But that's the kind of relationship we had. But to go out there and those kids, Jesse and them, what a thrill to run out there, 40,000 people, because most of those kids aren't going to play in college and have that. But that rivalry, not only in that game, but even still to be a part of this, like every year, when it comes, we'll have that kickoff thing, the Catholic Education Foundation. They know, cover my classes, cover my duties. I'm going to be there with my wife. She goes with me. I'm there. And if St.X doesn't give me 2 free tickets to their table, I'll get my own. But until the day I die, I'll be at that as long as they have that to raise money for Catholic education and to talk St.X and Trinity. So, I mean, I will always be there. Funny story is, first year of that thing, they misspelled my name. They spelled it with 2 S's. I said, thanks a lot, guys. It was Trinity people were in charge of it. They did that on purpose, I tell you. But that rivalry's been just unbelievable thing to be a part of.
No, well, listen, I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Bottom of my heart, this is special and means a lot. So thanks so much.
Well, it's been a great time being here. Anything I can ever do for you guys or for the Funding Fathers, whatever. You ever put anything together, let me know.
Appreciate
Prediction
it.
real quick. St.X Trinity this year. Who's winning?
Oh, it's gonna be St.X. We got the best quarterback. We got a guy tonight. I'm telling you, I think we got a really nice football team. I think we have a chance to win it all.
All right.
I really do. But in that game, you can never.
That's
Trinity's got a great defense.
coin toss.
It's going to be
50-50.
it's going to be a toss up. But we got to find a way to get that rivalry and get all the alumni. That's why usually I would say, oh, I'm not going to predict. I'm predicting, but I'm also going to challenge those St.X and Trinity alumnus to get out to that game. It's really broken my heart the last couple of years that to play it at our place, or it needs to get back to 30,000, at least 20, 25,000 people out there. If you care about St.X and Trinity, you got to be at that game.
Let's go.
Amen.
I'll be there.
Amen.
All right.
there.
Yeah.
Coach,
All
thanks
right.
a lot, bud.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.